Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the China Glaze Shades of Paradise collection. Shades of Paradise is China Glaze's summer collection. There are 12 polishes in it. I got mine from a friend who has a cosmetology license, so I got mine from a website that not everybody can shop from, but I know they're available on Head to Toe Beauty for $3.25 each, and even though their shipping's a little bit high, it's super fast. So we'll just talk about these in the order that I swatched them, and then we'll talk about the collection overall. First, we're going to talk about I'll Sand by You, and this is this light kind of tan. It's a little bit similar to Flesh Toned for light skin like mine. I don't know if you could see it on there. There is some shimmer, but I really didn't notice it on the nail at all. If you see it on the nail, it's barely. This one was a little bit thin, so you need to be kind of careful on application with this. It did level out okay. You just need to be careful that your brush is not overloaded when you paint with it or you'll flood your cuticles. All of these are going to be shown with top coat, and I'm going to show you 2 coats of I'll Sand by You. I don't have very many China Glaze, but I do have some similar colors to what's in this collection, so I just wanted to show you. Then if it's a color you love, you can know if you want to go for that color. If it's a color maybe you didn't, you can know if you want to pass. Okay, I'll Sand by You is this color in the middle. What's She Doing on my right, so should be your left. And Pixelated on my left, so should be your right. Now, What's She Doing and Pixelated don't have shimmer, but I'll Sand by You, the shimmer doesn't show up good anyway. So you can see those are very similar in color. I was a little surprised to find out that there were so many mattes in this collection, and I really like matte finish polish, so I was fine with that. This next one we're going to talk about is Cabana Fever, and the first thing that I noticed is this one has an awfully strong smell. It is the strongest matte, the most matte finish in the collection, so possibly that could have something to do with it. So this is pretty much white, sorry. I will just show you that against Right Out Forever just to show it against a white. So this does have the not so good China Glaze matte formula. You have to be really quick with it. Even trying to do a 3-stroke polish, I still had a hard time getting it not to be bumpy. Actually, you can tell in my swatch pictures that it was still kind of bumpy. So I did 3 coats trying to level it out. Still didn't have very much success. So if you have better application than me, you can maybe get this in 2. I'm going to show you 3 coats of Cabana Fever. And then I'm also going to show you that with top coat because that'll sometimes help to camouflage a bumpy polish. Next we have Water Falling in Love, and this is this light baby blue. I didn't have any similar colors in my China Glaze collection. Like I said, I don't have a ton of China Glaze, so that doesn't mean there aren't dupes out there. This one had a similar formula to that first one. I did get it in 2 coats. Depending on your application, it might be 2 to 3. Again, this one was a little bit on the runny side, so you need to be careful what's on your brush so you don't flood your cuticles. So you're going to see 2 coats of Water Falling in Love. Next we have All Sun and Games, and this is a bright kind of a peachy orange color. I'm sure leaning towards neon. I do really like this color. I think this one is also supposed to be matte, but it is not as matte as that white, so it kind of comes off as like a semi-matte to me. This one was also smelly, but not as smelly as that white. This one does have a shimmer in there. I'm not sure if you picked it up. It looks maybe orange or kind of gold. I do think that makes this one a little unique. The formula is not as bad as that white, so in person I maybe would wear this in 2. I'm going to show you 3 on a couple of my nails because the camera picks up everything. So you're going to see mostly 2 coats of All Sun and Games. And I'm also going to show you this one with top coat. And the shimmer on that one does stand out more with top coat. Just for color comparison, these are not close enough to be dupes. I have All Sun and Games here, and Pilates Please is a lighter, more of a peachy color, and this one is All Sun and Games is more of a neon, just for color comparison. This next one is Tropic of Conversation. Held up against All Sun and Games, you can see that it's a pinker version, but pretty much the same. I think it has the same shimmer in there. The formula is that same kind of, I'm going to call it semi-matte formula. Better formula than the white. Still, you need to be a little bit careful. So again, I would say 2 to 3 coats of Tropic of Conversation. This one was also smelly, so just a spoiler, all of the mattes in this collection I think were smelly. The white one and one other one were the worst, so if smell bothers you, these may not be for you. I'm also going to show you this with top coat. And then I'm going to show you Tropic of Conversation with Mimosas Before Manis. These colors are very similar and they both have a very similar shimmer in there. The Mimosas Before Manis, it's a little bit finer. So this one is Tropic of Conversation and this one is Mimosas Before Manis. Don't Be Sea Salty, I love that name, is a bright pink. It does have a shimmer in there, same as the last two semi-matte ones. This one is also what I would call the more of a semi-matte formula. This one has a pink shimmer in it though. Possibly just for the fact that it's a darker color. This one was more opaque for me. So this one I did get in a solid 2 coats. It still was stinky. So I'll show you 2 coats of Don't Be Sea Salty. And then with top coat. And then just for comparison again, I have Don't Be Sea Salty with that pinky shimmer and Bite Me, which is a more fluorescent pink with the gold shimmer in it. So just the similarity between those two. And I do have a Manny picture of Bite Me, so I will side by side them and put them up for you. Next we have Can't Sandal This. This is kind of a pinky nude color. This one is a cream finish, a little bit closer of that pinky nude color. This one also levels out pretty good, but it is a little bit runny, so I would say 2 to 3 coat depending on your application. I'm going to show you 2 on this one, so you'll see 2 coats of Can't Sandal This. This one is Kiki In Our Tiki, and this one is a cream. It leveled out pretty good. It's a little bit runny still, but this one I would say is a solid 2-coater, possibly just because it's a darker color. I actually really love the color of this one. And this is the one that I wanted to leave on my nails, but I was swatching it in the middle so it didn't stay, so I'll be wearing this again soon. This one I would say is kind of a deep orange leaning red as opposed to a red orange. So I'm going to show you 2 coats of Kiki In Our Tiki. And just for color comparison, this is Kiki In Our Tiki, which I think is an orangey red. And this one is Passion for Petals, which is a muted down more pink of the same-ish color. Next we have Mermaid for Bluer Waters. It's a beautiful shimmery blue. It's the type of formula that definitely could be streaky, but this one I didn't think dried too bad. If you think it's too streaky, you can always sponge on that top coat to get rid of the streaks. So this formula was also a little bit runny, so you want to be careful. I'm going to show you 2 coats of Mermaid for Bluer Waters. This will show imperfections on your nails though. I had a little stutter in application on my pinky and it was pretty noticeable. So as long as you're doing smooth coats, then your streakiness won't show up too much. Stop Beachfrontin is the cooler of the 2 purples in this collection. This one was pretty good at 2 coats. Just for color comparison, I'm going to show you Stop Beachfrontin against Spontaneous, also by China Glaze, and they are very similar. This is Spontaneous, this is Stop Beachfrontin. Stop Beachfrontin might be just a tiny bit more warm. I'm going to show you 2 coats of Stop Beachfrontin. And the warmer one is Boujee Board, I think is how you say it. It's B-O-U-J-E-E, so I want to say Boogie Board, but the J makes me want to say Boujee Board. So this is the warmer purple. This one is also matte. This one stinks as bad as the white one, but it doesn't have as much of a hurry up application as the white one. So I'm going to show you 2 coats of this one. And then with top coat. And then we have China Glaze's attempt at a holo for this collection. This is Ma-Holo at Me, and it's kind of a light blue-gray. I think that if you do thick coats, you could possibly get this one in one. It was a pretty good attempt at a holo, I think, for China Glaze, so I don't think it was indie standards by any means, but a pretty good attempt, I think. I'm going to show you 2 coats of Ma-Holo at Me, and then I'm going to show you a sunlight picture of Ma-Holo at Me. So my overall thoughts on this collection. I thought overall this collection was pretty stinky, but maybe that's just me because I know a friend who also has this whole collection and did not notice that. So a couple of these mattes have a very tricky application, like very tricky, the typical tricky China Glaze formula. I think the other mattes, while still tricky, are not as bad. They're definitely more workable, and some of those have a shimmer that does make them unique. More unique. The creams on these are kind of runny, but they do level out pretty well. If you're aware that they're runny and you take the time, then they still could do well for you. I do like these colors. Most of them are not incredibly unique, as I've showed you. I don't have a ton of China Glaze, and I was able to find several close colors just in my collection. So while I do like this collection, I just wanted you to be aware of those things. As always, application is different for everybody. It depends on your nail length, how much visible nail line you have, your own preference, and your own application. Let me know if there are any of these colors that you're thinking about picking up, if you already have, and what your thoughts were if you've already picked them up. Hopefully this review was helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!